Hi everyone, Lord Crew here, and welcome to my channel. So the topic for today is about our weekend rank meta analysis for week 142. So without further guys, let's proceed. So first of all, we will gonna start with the gods matchup, and as you can see, we already have like the results of our week 142 weekend rank, and as you can see, nature is still the most popular deck currently now, and they increase up to 40%. So if we compare that, the popularity of nature, as you can see, last week it's only around 29 uh 29.9 to be exact. Now there are like 10% more people are now playing nature, and that's the main reason why if you go for a weekend rank, you will face like literally almost like half of the 25 games are all nature or more, and because of the popularity of this one. And if you notice, the still the most highest total win rate are still dead. Uh and technically he's the still the second most popular. So almost similar to last week, but the difference between the last week is that like the popularity of death are literally went down. Popularity of death was like 20%, and they went down in -3% on the weekend rank. And there's a big increase, or a little bit increase, like increase in magic in terms of popularity. The magic popularity is last week is 16%. It increased one, and now where did all came this 10% that joined nature? Probably 3% from the death, and the deception also went down on the weekend rank. Deception are usually like last weekend rank is 15.7% in popularity, so they're like 2% left. Deception joined nature probably, or half of it are mage or magic, because literally deception and magic are almost like same play style. They can like be like a control, especially good in control. And there's a big downward of light. Last week it was like 14.3, now it's 8. So technically the 6% of light literally shifted into nature, and the war is 3.7, 1% of the war shifted to nature. So there are lots of players now are moving to nature, especially coming from light, deception, and war. Currently, uh, we all see like nature is currently in a good spot with a good win rate of 50. So if anything that is above 50% win rate are a good deck here. So if I gonna ask me like because of the win rate of the death, I can say like death is still a dominant deck here, but because of like the popularity and the big increase in nature, I could say like this weekend rank literally in favor of nature. Like literally, this is like the week of the nature. It's nature week, not death, not magic, but nature here. Okay, and now if we gonna check now like literally the archetype, like based on what's the dominant archetype, literally. So this is the archetype, and as you can see, Heirloom Death still the most highest win rate, but there are like literally a decrease in popularity. It now is 12%, point 0.9 good win rate, and this is also like the second one is Sleep Death. So this Sleep Deck, FYI, it's a similar. I believe this is like a board wipe deck, but instead of like naming it board wipe deck, it was now under category of sleep because he has like Siren of the Grave. That's number one. Two, Demogorgon. And if you notice, the play style of this one is similar to the board wipe deck. And now, one of the, as you can see, it's 56% for both. But FYI, the regen nature is almost like reaching with the win rate of Heirloom Death here, with having a 55.1%, and there are only 3.2% players playing this one. And if you're gonna ask me like what's the difference between regen and the aggro nature, regen, I believe they have like a dual trial of Hydra and some of like Jersey Me, and I think that's make your deck a regenator if you have like a dual Hydra. Now, if you just only have that that's also include wildfire, like dual wildfire, dual trial of the Hydra. Now, if you have like a like only wildfire, then you are like considered agro nature, which is similar. The only believe it or not, trial of Hydra are now $20 US dollar each or more now, probably more because of the popularity of nature. Before, I used to remember I just purchased my trial of Hydra a year ago, just only for $1, like $1, probably $1 or $2. Now it's like $20 now, like $20 or more. And they're like a good win rate of the mid-range magic and like control magic. So technically, we have like three gods here who has like a good win rate. Deception, magic, nature, and death. Death are having like a big share of the total win rate here. Okay, and now if we're gonna go like let's do a quick one. So let's focus on death alone. Death for now. So there are like three archetypes. There's still people playing zombie, which is 2.5%, which is anything that is 3% below. If the chances for like fighting for that kind of deck is one or zero at all. One out of 25 or zero. So in my weekend rank, I played in 2 days, Saturday and Sunday. I never managed to face Sleep Death and Zombie. I managed to end this Heirloom in my 1 out of 25 games. In my 25 games, I faced uh, two Heirloom Death here. Uh, so now if we go to Deception, Deception has a lot of archetype, control, guild, aggro, but I think the most dominating and most popular here are aggro and the guild zoo. But as you can see, people still play control deception. Control deception, if you have more than 7 casting costs and above in your deck list. Usually, the majority of aggro are if you have like majority 5 casting costs and below here. Good win rate for the guild zoo. Now we're gonna go for light. Light is before the mortal judgment expansion, especially on the core refresh. Light is the most dominant. His popularity reached up to 47, like 47%, like almost like 50%. And let's see if nature will be meet the same, but they're literally below 50. If anything below 40%, like for example 46 and 42 below, this is like literally not a good win rate. So both light are not in a good spot right now. Magic, there's a popularity of magic. People are like start playing magic now because they're the main reason why people play magic, because this kind of deck can literally counter nature. Why? Because if nature uh cast a lot of creature, like they go wide. The good thing about Magic, they have lots of AOE, like literally obliterate, like destroy everything on the board, like literally board clear, and that's the main reason why the popularity of Magic is going up. And as you can see, one of the highest are the mid range Magic and the control Magic. So the difference between mid range and control Magic, mid range, probably they're like more on 6 casting costs and below. And I believe this kind of version are more on spells, AOE, and kill your opponent with spells. I call the mid-range probably a spell magic. And the control magic are majority are like either ramp. Majority are ramp here. Like they gonna do play ramp cards like unlock mana and then control the board using lightning talisman AOE until they're gonna play the city planner or the Hylian elite to kill your opponent. Card draw. There was like this is like more on the card draw, more on the tempo where you use a lot of spells to board control and draw cards to do the same thing, like card draw, spells, card draw. And aggro magic are literally similar with card draw, but this is more like an Aether Snap or lots of like small creature minion here. Now we're gonna go down now the most dominant deck for now on this weekend rank is the nature. As you can see, 29.3% are playing aggro and only 3% playing regen nature. So what's the difference? Regen nature has two trial of Hydra, which is are currently expensive now, like $20 or more each. The aggro nature are similar archetype with the regen, but using only wildfire. Some player might use like Sudden Bloom to buff their creature, or the Satyr to buff, like a group buff. But that's the only difference. Regen has Wildfire and Trial of Hydra, while Aggro Nature, Wildfire and other to buff other creatures. So the Aggro Nature are the more cheaper version of Regen Nature. High chance if you want to enter the top 20, you must have like Dagon, which is the most expensive card now in a Mortal Judgment. We have like Control Nature and Mid-Range Nature here. And now we go to the list and the most bad archetype right now. And I believe Geo should like do something because War now is like a dead. It's like a dead deck right now, or dead god. So I feel like War left the group already. There are only like or there are like only like a few gods now. So he's the weakest. We have mid range and aggro. Usually, War is like the number one choices for aggro and budget, but because he has not able to compete with nature and other control deck, he's like literally now a dead gods or a dead archetype for now. Now we're gonna go now for the net decking, and we will talk about now the top 20 players. So this is the list of the top 20 on the left side here. This is the weekend rank top 20, and I never managed to enter the top 20, so I will try again next week. And as you can see on this weekend rank, what I like about this weekend rank is like uh it's like a big changes compare on the last week. Last week it was everything dominated by death, but now everything is now dominated by nature. So for all the nature lovers there, this is your week, and congratulations to nature for coming back as the most dominant deck now. So as you can see on the top 20, there are like total of 10 players enter the top 20 as a nature. Eight of them are aggro nature and two of them are regen nature, right? So as we all know, aggro nature is played by everyone for around like 29% in popularity. Okay, 29% in popularity overall, and the overall for nature is 40%. So uh, and the good thing about nature, it's not that expensive to build. I think the most expensive card like Dagan, and if you go for the Regen Nature, Dagan plus the Trial of Ida, we're like below $50. Compare with the other control deck, might cost you like 1,000. Okay. Now so that's nature. Now the next more dominant deck are still Death. Death is the second most dominant in the and Death as a god here on the top 20, and on the top 20 there are like five players who managed to enter the top 20 using a Death, and three of them are still the heirloom death, and two of them are using the sleep death. Sleep, aka another term for the board wipe deck. It's just like because of the mortal judgment, nobody using like the end times now or like Polhemia because of the aggressive of the aggro, but still same play style as board wipe. That's our called sleep death now, and sleep death. So now, the third most dominant deck now are Deception, which are three of them who enter on the top 20. And FYI, Deception is the current rank 1 here. Petronym, who managed to get 23 out of 25. And so technically, there are three Deception. The rank 1 is this using a guild zoo Deception. So in the Deception, three of them, there are like two guild and one aggro, and Petronym are using the guild zoo deception here, and the fourth one are magic. Are there like two of them, and the good thing about magic, even though there are only two of them, they enter the top 20 as on the top 10. Both of them are like a card draw magic. FYI, not mid range, not control, but a card draw. So these two players just came up like on the last day of the weekend run, so it was like a sneaky surprise from Magic to enter on the top 10. And as you can see, both of them are card draw, not Magic, not control. So now I will show you the deck. So at least you have like a opportunity to do a net decking, like verify if you like the deck, you can copy it, and that's the main purpose. So let's go for the rank 1 up to rank 20. So this is Petronym. He's our current rank 1, managed to get 23 out of 25. So this is like literally a guild zoo deception here. I believe I should this he became I think top 3 on the last day of the weekend rank, and he managed to outwin the nature here. Nature and death here. So this is like a deck that his deck composition literally more on the main reason why it's called Guild Zoo because there are a lot of guild here. Guild guild. I like this Promentary Instigator because majority of your creature are guild. This is like literally your card draw. And FYI, in a good deck, you must have like a good card draw capability. And that's good for Deception. They have one because of Promentary Instigator here. He has like two AoE. He's having Amarias to do a group buff and debuff for the opponent. And literally, I think the playstyle is literally like aggro, especially buff your hidden creatures like Armor Lurker, Switch Duelist, buff them with Lujan Thespian, which is one of the OP, one of the strong buffer. Imagine Echo, you buff 3. You can like do a buff 6 in turn 5 here and like can do a little damage here. So I like the playstyle. Umber Arrow are used for anti-zoo and even like anti-nature here. Like anti-death heirloom, still those Takat and a Necromancer here. I like it. No bound by her will, but majority, I think this is if you manage to get 23 out of 20 means this is like a good counter also for control and nature aggro. So this is the one of the top player who are currently ranked 2. He managed to get 23 out of 25. So both Petronim and Nokocha managed to get a good win rate there. And this is like a agro nature. Like I said, if you are agro nature means you have no trial of the Hydra. If you have like trial of the Hydra, then you're considered regen nature here. So he has Dagan, the most expensive card here for like $40. Another expensive card here, the Underbrush Boar here. So he has the two most expensive card here, and still a lot of low cost minion, and then do so going wide on the early round, and in turn 4 or turn 3 or turn 4, you go for a group buff to do majority of the damage. He play a lot of Selena's Mark here, not the Animal Bond. So this is like a the third one is having a 22 wins by Gigi Zomboy, and this is like a regen nature. Like I mentioned, the main reason why it's called regen nature because of the two copies of Trial of the Hydra, and it has like two wildfire. Literally same play style, but Trial of Hydra is like a fifth turn, a massive buff. Especially majority of your creature has like a regen. If your creature has already a lot of regen, you will benefit more on the Trial of Hydra because it's not just get plus one, but it gives additional regen and plus one for each regen of your wild creature here. So this is like a good deck. Actually, this kind of archetype has more higher win rate than the aggro version. So this is the one, the two card draw magic who just entered the top recently. This is like a tempo. I believe this is more like a tempo magic. He's both using Aether Snap here, early board creature, and also like a lot of spells to do board control and lots of damage. So this is, I believe this is like for me it's like a tempo, a magic, but with that include card draw and even like the Aether Snap here to do more magic. So I love to try this one. Another aggro nature here, dual war. So currently the staple deck now are like the Warwake, Wildfire, and lots of creature here, like especially the Marshwalker and Pyresian Beetle for the early round. People play Wild Hug, some people not. Underbrush Boar is one of the staple cards. You must have this one if you're like a major nature player. You must have Underbrush Boar because this is good for control, aggro, literally one of the staple card in nature. If you have something like if you have a Marshwalker, you must have like an Underbrush. It's like literally a good card. Another card draw magic, same concept, like having like a low cost minion, a lot of spells to do board and card draw, and they still using Aether Snap here. Sleep Deception, this is what I mentioned to you. Like, if, uh, don't get be confused. I feel like this is like another version of the board wipe deck. But instead, like, it added more on the Mortal Judgment. That's include the bifurcating curse, bifurcating course here. It's been added here. Just one of the most another version of the AOE. Like before you have like Apocalypse and End Times, now Apocalypse and bifurcating. But this literally I believe like another version, Mortal Judgment version of the board wipe deck. But still same play style. You will gonna do a sleep early rounds, sleep draw, and then AOE on turn 6 or AOE on turn 7 or Demogorgon on turn 7. And then majority the end, like literally the win condition is for the late game, especially using Jason here. Another Aggro Nature here. He has Dagan and Underbrush and same play style, but instead of Trial of Hydra using Wildfire. Aggro Deception, overall in the top 20, the Deception are the cheapest version that you can like go. So if you really go for lower price, Deception is the lowest of all the top 20 that the Deception is the cheapest. So this one's a little bit expensive, but as you can see, 0.07. The other version is Petronym, or I believe is 0.01. This is like the cheapest budget that you can ever see here. Okay. Another Aggro Nature, same play style, lots of group buff here. That's lots of you're gonna play Warwakes, a lot of low cost minion, and then group buff, especially using Wildfire and Penumbra, Howler, and even Sing Song Satyr here. Heirloom Death, still popular. Second the most popular. This is like this Heirloom Death are like also like a sleep. For me, I call it like I first call it a Nubian sleep, or we can like say it's a heirloom sleep version because he's using a Siren of the Grave to do a board control. So technically, for me, heirloom is not an aggro deck, but more on a control deck. You just gonna do a control the board, and you don't attack. You just do lots of board control until you play the Land of the Dead, deals more damage by doing a board control. Literally, it's just like board control here. Don't get confused. Like you thought like Heirloom Death is more about attacking. No, it's more about board control. Regen Nature. This is one of the one of the like Twitch streamers, Wally DE. For unknown reason, never seen him now doing a streaming lately. I don't see him stream for the past few days. But the good thing is he managed to enter the top 20. So probably if I want to go to top 20, I should not stream. Just kidding. But he has like a good win rate here using a Regen Nature. He has two Trial of Hydra. Another heirloom death. This is like the another heirloom. This is like similar to Yogmoth's, or this is like similar. Yeah, this is exact copy for the Yogmoth heirloom death or heirloom control, because this is literally more on like a control. Sometimes I call this as heirloom board wipe deck or Anubian board wipe deck because of the Apocalypse and the Demogorgon. This is more also in board control and use Land of the Dead to kill your opponent. Another aggro nature here. He has Underbrush and Dagan, and no Tile of Haida. That's why it's aggro. And use Sudden Bloom and Wildfire, Penumbra, and Sing Song Satyr. Dual Sing Song Satyr here to do a massive damage or like a buff, a group strength buff. Heirloom Death, and similar to the Yogmoths, but I think they add sulfuric rain here in Ragnarok. In my version, I play dual Ragnarok, one reclaim, and no sulfuric. That's on my version. I managed to get 19 out of 25. Agro Nature, same concept. Wildfire. He has Underbrush, no Dagan. This one has no Dagan. That's why a little bit cheaper. But he has like an Underbrush in Sudden Bloom, Wildfire, and Bladefly. Guild Zoo Deception here, one of the cheapest, 0.01. Guild Zoo with Promontory for card draw and same play like hidden, buff, and attack. Like you're gonna do hidden to do a hidden hide hidden creature, buff them, attack them, and use some of your creature to control the board to lower their strength. So you have like more damage than your opponent. Aggro Nature, dual Sing Song, dual Penumbra Howler, still with work with Underbrush Boar, and no Dagon here, no Dagon. Sleep Death, uh, another variation of like a board wipe deck. Apocalypse, I think it's similar deck with the other one here. And the last one is the Aggro Nature here. Uh, Using a group buff like Penumbra, Wildfire, and Sing Song Satyr. So if you're gonna go for aggro, you need dual Penumbra, Sing Song Satyr, and Wildfire to do a mass board to buff majority of your creature strength while doing a wild. You will cast a lot of low cost wild creature here. Okay, that's it, guys. So as you can see, we already have like our weekend rank, week 142 meta analysis. So my prediction will be nature will be still on the most popular and most dominant as long as there's no other nerf or buff happening by the dev within this week. As long as there's no balance update, we might see the same thing. And who knows, Magic may go up, especially those Magic that can like do a lot of board control for the nature and death. Death, who knows, the death popularity may go down, but they might still have like a big win rate because of those sleep death. Like we all know those board wipe deck are literally strong versus nature. So I believe majority, if there will be a changes in the meta, nature will be still more popular because you can like build a cheaper and faster deck there. But people are like a non nature player will create a deck to counter it. So who knows, we might see an increase on magic and also in probably increase in magic here, and that in terms of like how many players we're gonna play more on about the anti nature here. Okay, that's it. Thank you so much for watching. If you like the video, kindly please subscribe and like, and see you next time, and thank you for watching.
There's a distance between us. It's getting hard to reach out. Haven't seen you in seasons, but all I hear is your voice. I know my limits. You can break me down, but I'll stay till the finish.